Loud. Okay, so a box should pop up on your screen that says a bunch of stuff, but really you just need to click the word "got it" and it'll clear it out of the way. It just means you know that this is recording. And we shall go. Okay. So sitting at the front edge of your chair, hands on your thighs, chin slightly down, crown slightly up. Breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose and out through the mouth. A few cycles. As you're sitting at the edge of your chair, be cultivating what is in the Taoist terminology, zhongjung, or central upright, or central pillar. So you're going to have this feeling of a central pillar going straight through you, down through the chair and your legs, almost like a tripod. Your chair plus your legs create a sort of three-part connector to the ground. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Let's just do this maybe 10 times before we get to our moving practice. And we begin with our joint mobilization. Hands slide back, elbows back, shoulder blades back, chest up, chin up, look up, arch. Then the opposite of that, slide your hands past your knees, chest hollows back, drop the head and chin down. And again, slide hands back, elbows back, shoulder blades back, arching, look up. And slide hands forward, hollow the chest, drop the head. And again, inhale as you lift and arch. Exhale as you soften and round. 2 more. You got to move the parts of the body that, if left unchecked, they get stuck together. And that makes us clumsier, makes us sort of top heavy, you could say. Let's go ahead and settle back to the middle. So now left hand forward, right hand and elbow back, turn your shoulders and head to the right. Turn, and then rewind and come back across and turn to the other side. So same idea, we're just moving the parts. And the body is such that this creates lubrication. Now, if we were to really crank it and try to turn with a bunch of force, we create less lubrication. We actually create rigidity and resistance in the body. Parkinson's, I believe, is making that even more difficult, that you have to be even more Tai Chi. You have to be even more soft. And then softer still with each movement, so that you're oozing and loosening and lubricating and getting this gliding quality. Now, settle back to the middle. Take your arms and hang them alongside you. And that same loose quality, lean to your right, side bend and lift your left wrist, floating up. And then switch, lean to the other side, right wrist floating up. And then switch, lean, switch, lean, just soft. Again, be as loose as you can. People are so accustomed to having to apply a bunch of effort to try to move the body that it's a very odd sensation in the beginning to sort of like fall through movement, release through movement. But eventually that, again, what Tai Chi trains is that you can do all kinds of movement just using this loose hydraulic liquid ball back to the middle. Now, our arm bones plug into our shoulder blades, the scapula that are on our back, right? Two sort of triangular shaped bones, and they can move. Now we want to shrug the shoulders up, melt the shoulders down, shrug shoulders up, and melt them down. Two more. These are common, this is a common area for all kinds of tangled up, glued adhesion, stuck musculature, and we want to make sure that's moving. So that's just the up and down. Now we do the sort of circular motion. So the shoulder blades spread apart and the shoulders come forward. Then we go up, over the top, squeezing shoulder blades towards each other, and then down the back, under. Make sure each time you feel this release neutral. Do it again. Forward and up, over the top, back, down the back, under, through neutral, relax, forward and up, over and back. Three more. Eventually this movement, like all the movements, can be done with this gliding, but very commonly we have to apply a little effort and force to get that movement. Do two more. Now, as you finish that last one, arms are hanging loose. Now we go back, up, over the top, forward, down, under, back, up, over top, forward, down, under, up, over top, forward, down. Three more. Last one. And Nalina, can you mute yourself for me? You just unmuted. Nalina, Maureen, you're fine. Maureen, you're fine. Let me just mute. Okay. There we go. Okay, so now, final little clearing out of what's in the upper area. Bend elbows, so your hands are up, relaxed right in front of your shoulders. Now elbows flare up and out, and then down, around in front until they touch, and then down, out and up, down, around in front till they touch and squeeze, down, out and up, down, around in front, down. Now elbows back, then down, forward, up, and then forward, down, back, down, forward, up. Two more. Someday you can just slide and glide through that movement, loose and easy. Slide and glide through that movement. And finally, elbows out, palms are facing down, one hand above, one hand below. Cross and hug. Hug your own body. Then elbows go out, then switch. Cross, hug, open, cross, hug, open, cross, hug. And elbows down, arms down. Now, a very important part of balance, now that we've sort of loosened up this outer armor, is the skull, the spinal column, all the way down to the pelvis. So we want to have this head be like a bobblehead, be very loose. But a lot of times we've got this sort of grab thing going on. And then again, that makes us very cumbersome, clumsy, and top heavy. So just some basic head movements to loosen that up. Chin down, chin forward, chin up, forward and down, forward and up, forward and down, forward and up. One more. Down. And up. And then bring your head to level and turn, look right. Middle, turn left. Middle, turn right. Middle, turn left. Two more each way. And staying relaxed. So you're not forcing, gripping, holding, you're just gliding, sliding, flowing. Then back to middle. Head softly to your right. Now, since this is a weird move, usually we find a lot of tension in this opposite side. So just let the head hang for a bit. And while it's hanging, chin a little down, chin a little up. Just kind of roll the head a little forward and back while we're on the side. So we're stretching open, tension that's there. And then bring it back to middle, over to the other side. Find a comfortable pause point, and then the head a little dipped forward, middle and back a little, forward and back. And just loosening up where we all humans tend to hold. And then back to middle. Legs, scoot back on your chair. From here, bring right knee up to your chest, right heel drawn in, and then push, reload, set the foot down. Other leg, load, push, load, set it down. Load and push, load, down. Load, push, and down. One more each. Load, push, and extend right leg, point foot, flex foot, point, flex, point, flex. And then invert, evert, invert, evert. Little tilt of the foot, and then circle the foot. And reverse circle the foot. And switch, other leg, point, flex, point, flex. Keep doing that, please. Now, invert, tilt, 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 and circle. And reverse circle. And down. Scoot forward to the front edge. Step your feet a little wider apart. Lift the toes up off the ground and turn on the heels so your knees and toes point in. And then turn so your knees and toes point out. And then knees and toes in, out, in, out, in, and pause here in the middle. Now heels in, heels out. So you're swiveling on the ball of your foot. Heels in, out, in, out. So it's up in this hip joint where we're getting this easy external and internal rotation. And then back to neutral. Legs hip distance, hands on thighs, fold forward. Then sit vertical and lean a little bit back. So the powerhouse where your legs meet your pelvis. So we're folding and then sitting up and then lean and sitting up and then folding up, leaning, up. Now, time to stand up. So you slide your feet back a little bit under your knees, behind the knees a little bit. Arms loose and hanging. We fold, let the arms and head go out beyond your ankles, your butt behind your ankles, and then you stand up and get everything to line up straight through. Then, when it's time to sit down, the first thing you do is not bend your knees, which is what a lot of people do. It's not great for the knee joint. The first thing you do is you fold at the hips and put the butt back a little bit. Then you sink the butt and find your chair, and the knees will bend appropriately if you focus on this joint. And then we're back to vertical. Let's do it again. Fold, rise, fold, sink, fold and rise, fold and sink. Fold and rise. Now, don't sit in your chair, but sink as if, like you're going to try to touch the floor, and then come back up. So this is that Tai Chi squat where we're folding at the hips, sinking, and then rising. Two more. Butt goes back a little bit, this hip hinge. We can fold right through that space, and then we can rise back up. Fold, and then rise. Okay, now you should have a chair to the left of you. Step and face that chair, fingertips touching the chair. Now you're going to rock into your toes, rock to the middle, rock back to your heels, rock to the middle. So the chair is there for safety. Rock, rock, rock. Now, rock to your toes, lift your heels. Back down. Rock to your heels, hand on chair for safety, lift your toes. Rock to your toes, lift, down. Rock to your heels, lift your toes, down. Take that twice more. One of the main things we're feeling here is that being grounded can go through various points of contact. So we can be grounded through the heels, we can be grounded through the whole foot, we can be grounded through the toes, but being grounded is what we're going for. Now, hands on the back of that chair, walk your feet back, so that now, and watch me do it first, you can see the angle. I fold at this hip crease, so I get a stretch through the legs, stretch through the back, and stretch through the shoulders. This is basically downward facing dog from yoga. Fold. And let's come out of it just for a moment, chest up, hips come a little forward, and then go right back in. Hips back, folding, at that downward facing dog. So you really want to hip hinge. Hinge at the hip crease. And come all the way up. Walk your feet forward, 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 until you stand vertical. Once again, turn and face forward. And then with your chair still on this is my left side. Maybe I said that wrong earlier. My left hand is your right hand. So on your right side, step back from the chair a little bit so it's in front of you and to your right. So you have a small runway right in front. Now, level one of every exercise, ideally you do it with no hand on the chair, but you know it's there. So this first exercise, level one, change your body weight to your right leg. Let 100% of your support come from one leg. And then in your empty foot, lift the heel and get to the very tip of the shoe. And like I said, try to do this without grabbing the chair. Or if you're using the chair, do it with just a fingertip. Because for this level, we're not leaving the ground. We're keeping the toe on the ground. Now shift and change leg and get to the tippy toe of the other foot. So you see when it's empty, when this is full, this is so empty that it can be flimsy, right? And movable. And then I change. Now this leg has that workload in it. So therefore this one is empty and light. It's like on a scale, when you put all the weight on one side of the scale, the other side naturally is liftable, it's empty. So let's just flow between that. This is a great homework practice for you. Just when you're standing in place, you go one full, one empty, put the foot down, change. One full, one empty, lift and move the empty foot. This is, I would say, the safest beginning practice to just starting to find your middle pivot, which the Taoists say is belly button and lower back level of the body. Right here, this is where our middle of the seesaw is. And it's a pivot that moves not only laterally, but in all directions. But right now, we're just really working on this basic change. We're not moving forward, backwards, we're not turning in space. Now, level 2. Put the weight through your right leg, get to the tippy toe of your left. Now, hand on chair as needed because you want to try and disconnect the empty foot from the floor. And then place the empty foot back down without all the body weight plunking into it. So an empty foot down, and then from your middle pivot, change. So now left leg full, right empty. Lift to tippy toe, disconnect from the floor, reconnect to the floor while still empty. Change. Empty left foot, tippy toe, disconnect, reconnect, change. Eventually, this starts to flow. So it goes from being sort of square-like to just going, as I change my weight, I float my empty foot. And then as I change my weight, that other foot just floats right up. So it gets back to this fluid quality, but first you have to break it into empty, full. Get to the tippy toe, disconnect, reconnect, land it, change. So if you can break it into its parts, then you can smooth it out. And that's, again, Tai Chi. All these movements that we do that look so smooth, first you have to connect the dots and really get to it. Now, level 3 is just to the maximum. Can you bring that knee way, way up without losing this feeling of letting the weight go down? And then land that foot with no body weight. Change the weight, so the primary direction is down through. Once that weight is going through, then this leg is free to lift and lower, and then change. Middle pivot, weight to the earth. Once the weight is truly in the earth, this leg, empty. Down. Shift. Lift, and again, hand on chair as needed. Even if I'm not doing it, you can do it. Put your hand on your chair. Be safe. Change. So just as important as lifting is when the leg goes down, keep it empty. So you're softening long rather than what a lot of times happens is we get pulled down with the leg. So letting that leg go completely down and then shifting into it. All the way up, all the way down. Shift. Last one. And the other important Tai Chi principle, Chun One, which is, it at first seems counterintuitive. We think, I don't want to fall, so I should be sort of running away from the ground with my energy. I should be up here. But it's quite the opposite. The more you relax and let yourself connect down through to the ground, the freer and looser the body, the safer you are. Because you're not up here ready to fall over. You're soft, you're connected, you're plugged in. Okay? So now let that weight go down through your left leg. Put your right foot in front. And I'll turn sideways so you can see. I'm not stepping a big step forward. Someday when you're walking with these techniques, you can take bigger steps. You can even jog and run and keep all these same techniques. But start just a very small stance, just a little bit in front. Now, primary direction is still down. So shift into your right leg, get to the tippy toe of your left foot, and then shift back. But really, when I say back, I mean down. So when I shift forward and back, my body moves forward and my body moves back, but I don't want to be thinking forward, because then that tends to take us too far, or backwards and we go too far. Just think down to the earth, loose, relaxed, down to the earth. And it's the same thing, one full, one empty. Then change that, one full, one empty. And if you get soft, relaxed enough, it just goes shoo, right to the earth. Shoo, right to the earth. This is level 1, so you practice no hands if you can, because we haven't left the ground yet. But now level 2, hand on chair, you want to lift, lower the heel back to where it was, and then shift. Once you get your back foot empty, just like a flamingo, bend the knee, toe back down, shift. So I'll do a couple sideways before I face forward again. From your right leg hip, lift, lower, shift. Now the primary direction down to the earth. Once you're truly down through the earth, this little lift and lower is as easy as bending an elbow, right? It's the same thing. And then shift. All the weight is in your back leg now. So from this front hip, it's just lift, lower, shift. Once the weight is through the earth, flamingo, down, shift. From the hip, lift, lower, shift. From the knee, bend, down, shift. Level 3, you'll probably definitely need the chair, because we're going all the way up, down to the heel, still empty, shift. Then we're going back leg, forward and up. So now this knee is up, and then we're reaching that toe back, find the earth, but still empty, and then chain. So it's knee, down to the heel. Shift, the weight goes down. Knee, back to the toe, then shift. So we get established, and that established state allows for this movement, and then we chain. Allows for that movement. 2 more, level 3. Up, down, shift, up. And the main thing that people I see are doing is premature lifting, premature stepping. It's trying to do something before you've achieved full empty, right? If I wait long enough, full empty, then this is no problem. That's no problem. But if I do it too soon, then the whole body gets thrown out of position. Okay, now we're going to change sides. So side step with your left foot. Shift over. Now you should be closer to your other chair. Get yourself set up. Now, put the weight down through your right leg. Put your left foot out in front. Level 1, ideally with no hands. Shift. 100% in your left leg, 0 in the tippy toes. Then shift. 100% in your right leg, 0 in the tip of the heel. Shift. Tip of the toe. Shift. And it's good news, by the way, that especially when you have your upright body, all you have to think about is down. Just let it go down and let it go down. You don't have to think forward, backward, leaning, tilting, all this other complexity. You just have to relax and go down through one, down through the other. Now, level 2, hand on chair as needed. We lift from the hip and lower, then shift, then the back leg, knee, toe, shift, from the hip, leg, down, shift, knee, shift, leg, shift. And the ideal feeling that some of you I can tell are feeling is the teacup undisturbed, the teacup that's on your head not being thrown about, but just relaxed, your central, your zhong intact. Let's go level 3, hand on chair as needed. Knee, down to the heel, shift. Knee, back to the toe, shift. Knee, down, shift. Knee, toe, shift. How's your teacup? Just have this idea that the central pillar is floating. It's floating, it's undisturbed. That's what stability really means. It's not held, it's this relaxed quality where our middle is just naturally floating. Now, go back to the first side. So we sidestep, right foot side, shift, bring the left foot in. Now we're closer to this chair. Now we'll take the previous exercise one step further. Put your right foot in front, heel touching. Shift. Now this back foot, you're on your tippy toe. Now we're going to repeat something here. Heel, toe. So use the chair as needed to allow you to go heel empty, toe empty. Heel, toe. Heel, toe. Now, step that foot out, it's empty, and shift into it. Get to the tippy toe of the other foot. So now, we're going backwards, but we're really thinking down through the right leg. Step your left foot back, toe, down through the left leg. Now you're on the heel. So it's down to the earth, step the empty foot, down to the earth, and then down to the earth, step the empty foot, down to the earth. I'll turn sideways so you can see. Down to the earth, step, down to the earth. My teacup is still just going along for the ride. There's a sturdiness or a stability that comes from just relaxing down to the earth. Down to the earth. Down to the earth. 2 more. Down, step, down. Down, step, down. Don't prematurely step. Wait for this foot to truly be empty so that the step is like a feather. And then change. And then down, step, down. Now, level 2. From that hip, and again, you'll need your chair for this one. Lift, lower, shift. Now let's repeat this part. This empty foot, pick it up, step over something, and then put the heel down. Then reverse that. Up, tuck, reach. Up, over, down. I'll turn sideways so you can see it's like a little wheel. Up and over, up, over. So this is stepping over a crack of some sort of obstacle, right? Now the next time you step forward, keep the foot out there, shift. Now your back leg should be your right leg, flamingo. Just bend the knee, put the toe back down. And now we shift down through the right leg, then up, tuck, reach the toe back, shift back. From the hip, lift, lower, shift, step over, shift, flamingo. Shift back, make sure you got full empty so that it's the empty leg that just floats through the movement. Shift, lift, lower, and again, shift, step, shift, bend the knee, shift, up, tuck, reach, shift. And remember, a lot of the pain comes from activity. Stuff going on that over time we need to release down through. and just let the liquid integrity of the body hold you up better and better. So that's what will happen over time if you find this sort of through line. And let's finish with 3 level 3. So that's knee, down, shift. Now it's heel, knee, foot, down, shift. And then knee, back, shift. Up, tuck foot, reach, shift. Knee. 2 more, level 3. The down is what allows for the up. The down is what allows for the up. So we have a natural habit of being afraid of going down, but we need to find that way through down. Otherwise, we're fighting the whole time, which is exhausting, creates pain, and is just clumsy. It's clumsy movement. So Tai Chi is about polishing, emptying, dissolving, returning to a natural, easy quality. Switch sides, side step. Near this chair, put the weight down through your right leg, your left foot out in front, heel touching. Level 1, no hands if you want. Forward, back, forward, back. Just this little empty foot. And just really notice the difference. A lot of times people are going, right? I'm exaggerating versus notice how for me, this foot, it's because it's empty that it's just free. So if I can, how do I get this empty? By making one of them full. That's the prerequisite. Once it's empty, it can step. Then if I can switch which one is empty and full, then I'm really doing something. Now we shift back. Now this one's empty, so it's free to step. And then shift back. Down to the earth. Step the empty foot. Down to the earth. Release down to the earth. Step. Release down to the earth. Shift. Step. Shift. Shift. Step. Shift. Couple more. This is just casual. Loose. Relaxed. Level 2, you might need to use the chair. Lift, lower, shift. Now this back foot steps up and over something and then reverse, up and over back. Same idea, it's empty. So therefore I'm not having to heave the leg and yank it through movement. It floats because of its relaxed, empty state. Because this is full. Now, shift, flamingo, toe, shift back, and we go up, tuck, reach, shift back. From the hip, lift, lower, shift, up and over, shift, flamingo, shift, up, tuck, reach, shift, lift. Lower. Down to the earth. Down to the earth. Down to the earth. Level 3, hand on chair as needed. Knee up. Heel down. Shift, and this is just exaggerated. Heel, knee, foot, down. Shift. And then it's knee, toe, shift, knee, tuck, reach, shift, knee, heel, shift, big exaggerated step, shift. One more. Again, down allows for the up, down allows for the up. Here. Now you guys stay as you are. I'm just adjusting my space to match what you see. So now here we all are facing forward. Move to your left. And then turn to face back across the space. So what we now have is a big runway all the way across, all the way back. So the same skill that we were doing just standing in place, this empty, full, we're going to use that to walk forward, walk backwards. Your chairs are on your left so that you have safety. So now empty your left foot, put it in front, and then shift. Once it's empty, just step the right foot, shift, shift. Walking. Once you get to the end of your runway, be very careful going backwards, but remember, you're not going backwards, you're going down. Step your empty foot behind you, toe touching, and then go down. Toe behind you, down. So it's the down that keeps us from falling backwards because we're never leaning backwards. We're just staying connected to the earth, connected to the earth, connected to the earth. And let's go forward again. Down, 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 down. And backwards, but really we're just going down. And we're only stepping a foot once it's empty. And we're trying to keep it empty when we step it. Now let's go level 2, where we step over something, shift. Step up and over something, shift. Step over something, shift. Over, shift. And reversing, be very careful here. Because when you take this empty foot behind you, you have to sort of stay a little bit leaning forward to counterweight this reaching foot, and then shift. So as the foot goes back, don't go with it. Stay where you are. Shift. As the foot goes behind you, stay where you are. This one is empty, and then shift. Shift. One more time, there and back with either level 1 or level 2, whichever feels like the appropriate challenge for you. Most careful when going backwards, right? Because that's just into our dark spot, into our blind spot. But keep your mind on the idea that it's down, 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 and down. Turn and face forward. You're on the left side of your runway. Empty your right leg and step it sideways out, sideways in, out, and in. Okay, so that's what we're going to do, but I want to add this little adjustment. So it's called your secret sword. So you thumb and these together. This is like just a little pointer. So what we're looking for is here's genital area in the middle and the inguinal crease on either side, right where your thigh meets this little crease, right? So lightly touch right there. And so as you put your weight into your left leg and you step your right leg out, you want to feel that crease open. That's called the qua in the Chinese Taoist language. And then in, it closes. So this left qua is staying closed while the right qua opens and closes. Opens and closes. Now, the reason I'm pointing this out is because most of the time we keep these closed, and if we do a side step, we clumsily step, and we're keeping these tight and closed, and we're sort of being yanked around. Tai Chi is saying, learn how to open and close your spaces. So it's open, close, open, close. Now, your body weight should not be going with your right leg. So Nalina, notice that when you're stepping, you're letting your body go with it. Notice what I'm doing. My body stays right here. This foot is empty. Now, put the right foot out there and leave it there. Shift. So now your right claw closes, your left claw opens, and then shift. left closed, right open. Shift, right closed, left open. Close left, open right. Feet are staying glued to the ground. Right leg becomes full, left leg empty. And then that switches, left full, right empty. Teacup, still doing just fine. Because again, what I'm not doing is I'm not leaning like this and like this to try to create that change. I'm finding that real estate here in the power center of the body. Now go to your right leg, stay there. Left quads open. Now close, open, close, open, close. The body weight is staying down through this right leg. This left leg is just going out in, and its emptiness allows swiftness, right? The speed at which I'm moving that doesn't feel rushed because it's just empty. Now, finally, bring the left leg in, feet touching if you can. And let's change the weight to the left leg and then change the weight to the right leg. This one forces us to find the down because there's really no room to move left and right. We have to go down. This has to empty. Down. This has to empty. Down. Down. Now, the next time you go down the left, stay there, step your right foot empty, change. Once your left foot is empty, step it in. Change. Once the right foot is empty, step it out. Change. Step in. Change. Step out. Change. So you should be moving sideways across the room. Notice how I started over there. Now I'm over here. All the way across. And we switch, we bring the foot in, then back out, and go shift, step in. Shift, step out. In. Out. So we're grounded the whole time. There's no danger. We're not coming up, out, and up and over. We're connected down to the earth. We're just changing which leg is our conduit to the root. And the more we can change right to left, left to right, the more mobility, agility we have. Now, step that right foot out. Keep your feet wide. Shift to the right, turn. Sweep your hands across. This is what we were working on Friday's class. So we're adding this movement. So this is our advanced Tai Chi movement. The hands go here, then they turn. Here, they turn, right? So it's the bear washing paws. So you're shifting to your right leg and turning a little bit and sweeping across. Then the hands turn. Shift, turn, sweep across. Now, shift to the right leg, turn to the right, hand sweep across, step your left foot in. Shift into your left leg, turn, sweep your hands across, step your right foot out. Shift and turn and sweep, step your left foot in. Shift and turn and sweep. The right foot is now empty, step it out. Shift, turn, sweep. Step in, shift, turn, sweep, step out. Shift, turn, sweep, step in, shift, turn, sweep, step out. Now bring left foot in, back out, and we go shift, turn, sweep. When right foot is empty, step it in. Shift, turn, sweep, hand, step out. We're grounded the whole time. We're just changing leg to leg. We're moving across the room with this loose, free body. Bear washes paws, circles the stream, swirls the stream, swats the fish. Let's go one more time, there and back. side, side. So this one really helps us find what I was talking about before, the pivot. It's a complex pivot. Yes, it works like a seesaw in the sense that it's changing from left leg to right leg, but it's also a rotating pivot. It's turning, and then we're stepping, and then it's turning. But all the while, with all that free movement, there's a stillness inside the pivot that gives us a feeling of absolute steadiness, absolute stability, even with all this outside orbiting movement, all this movement, but yet it's not yanking me out of my middle. My middle is perfectly stable, stillness in the middle. So that's what Tai Chi really is all about, is this balancing of those opposites of stillness and stability and total freedom and looseness and agility. Closing, just for a moment. And then let's make our way to the middle, right between the two chairs. Let's do our rotating step. Arms hang. Change your weight to your left leg. Turn your right leg out. Neutral. And then the weird one, in, pigeon toe. And you got to let the shoulders and the pelvis turn a little bit. And then we go neutral. And the same thing here. When you turn your leg out, let your hips turn a little bit open. Shoulders turn a little bit open. And then neutral. And internal. Now let's skip neutral and just go external. Like we're going to aim over here and see what's going on over here. And then something's behind us on this other side, behind us. So we're going boom. And we're turning to face that. And this is very martial art, even though it's practical in many ways. But this is how Tai Chi is a martial art. I just very swiftly oriented myself to what's happening here. And then just very, in a relaxed state, just changed 180 degrees. And now I'm looking this way. Arms loose. Let it hang. And turn. Now let's switch legs. Neutral right leg, shift, and let's turn out, looking that way. And let's just skip neutral and turn and look the other side. Turn, hips, leg, everything facing that way. Turn. Left foot is empty, right leg is full. That means everything else is free to change direction. Okay, back to neutral. Now, right leg turn out. Shift into the right leg, reorient your body to face the right side of the room, feet parallel. Do it again. Right foot turns out, looking to your right, and then shift and bring the rest of your body around to match that foot. And then empty your right foot, turn it out. Shift and reorient the body to that side. Empty right foot, turn it out, and then just shift. Go around a second time. Empty right foot, turn it out. Shift. And try to do this covering as little ground as possible. So a lot of times when I see people practice this, they take these big steps with their foot. Instead of, you can see with mine, all I'm doing is just changing its orientation around the middle, right? I'm just changing the orientation, and I'm staying pretty much right where I am. Let's go to the left. So again, same idea. My foot turns out, I'm not taking some huge step. I'm just going, boom, boom, change. And this is not to be overlooked. This is powerful because when you have to get across the room, and I've seen so many people struggle with this, the phone is ringing over there. So much of going in that direction is orienting. So it's going, oh, here's the phone, turn, doing that safely, right? And going, okay, and boom, and we're off. Oh, the phone is to my left, orient and go. But too often we're already thinking where we got to get to, and we forget how easy it can be to just go, oh, turn, oh, rotate. So see if you can get that feeling. And if you can, really cue in on it. That's powerful. That's powerful to change your orientation. And now for a little challenge, we go right leg empty. Instead of turning it out, turn it in. And then shift onto it and bring your left foot back to match it. And then do it again. Turn your right foot in. So we're doing pigeon toe. And then shift and parallel. And we're going pigeon toe and looking that way. Shift. Back. Again. Pigeon toe. Change your orientation. This one in a martial arts setting or just like an athletic setting, it's a retreat type of movement. I'm arranging and I'm going back away. Change and I'm retreating a little bit. Change, right? And once you're facing forward, let's finish other side. Left foot, pigeon toe, shift. Pigeon toe, shift. Times around. And then we will finish with the final that puts all those together. Watch me do it one time. It's the turnout, the shift and turn the body, and the pigeon toe. So now in 2 foot movements, I've gone 180 degrees reorienting in space. Now in 2 foot movements, I'm going to face back to the starting position. 1, shift. This foot has to be empty so I can pigeon toe it, and here I am facing forward again. So let's all do that together 2 times. Right foot turn out. Shift. Remember, down to the earth. Left foot pigeon toe. Down to the earth. Right foot turn out. Down to the earth. Left foot pigeon toe. Down to the earth. Again. Turn. Shift. Pigeon toe. Shift. Turn, shift, pigeon toe, shift. And let's go the other way to finish. Left foot turn out, shift, turn the body, right foot turn in. Shift, turn the body, left foot turn out. Shift, turn the body, right foot in. In, and middle. Hands together, rub. Back of one hand, rub. Back of other hand, rub. And then remember that inguinal crease or the quad. Rub the quad. The hip crease way up at the top. Come around, tailbone, sacrum, up onto your lower back muscle. And then remember the squat that we did earlier. Stick your butt back a little. Squat, hands sweep down the outside of the legs and around to the inside. Stand all the way up past the groin to the navel, to the belly button. And again, quad. Hip flexors, around to your tailbone, up onto your lower back, and then the butt goes back, sitting, sweeping down, come around, come up the inside, front side to the belly button. One more time. Quad. Hip flexors, tailbone, lower back, and yang channels down, yin channels up, and then finally up the yang channels on the arms, turn down the yin channels on the inside. Up the outer, down the inner. Repeat about 5 times. Switch arms. Up the outer, down the inner. Up the outer, down the inner. 2 more or 3 more. Arms hang loose. Change the weight just a little to your toes. Your heels are lighter. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Loosen, loosen, loosen. Shake out any final debris. And then wing, roll, fold over top, settle down to the navel, and then closing the class, one hand, two. All righty. Thank you so much, everybody. If there are any questions or anything like that, please feel free to unmute yourself and give